Sixth grade, we're cruising through the body systems. We're on to lesson 4 today. We'll take the first system on how do systems transport material. Today's main lesson is going to be the material that needs to be transported, which is how do we get food broken down with our digestive system. And then tomorrow we'll talk about transporting it with our circulatory system and our respiratory system on the things that we need to get through that. The nice little summary paragraph reads this: the digestive system takes in materials needed by the body. It breaks them down into a form that the body can use. Tomorrow you'll learn the respiratory system takes in oxygen that cells need and gets rid of the carbon dioxide waste that cells produce. Okay, you got your notes sitting out for it, and let's get rolling on it. Did you eat breakfast this morning? Do you know why it is important to do so? The foods that you eat contain important substances that your body needs. What do they need them to do? We need it to grow. We need it to repair itself, number 1 in your notes, and we need to carry on all the other life functions that we've talked about in the previous 3 chapters. Your body can't function properly without a constant supply of these substances. When you sleep, your body continues to use those substances. Number 2 in your notes. This is even happening while you sleep. But you obviously aren't replacing those as you sleep because you're sleeping. So therefore, a good breakfast can restore your body's supply of the material it needs. Number 3 in your notes. So one of the reasons for a breakfast is getting those nutrients back in there. Some people say it jumpstarts your body, gets it doing what it's supposed to be doing. All right, let's find out what happens when we eat. After you eat, getting important nutrients to body cells can take some time. Body cells can't use most foods until they are broken down into simpler, number 4 in your notes, substances. So it's not like I take a bite of my, chocolate candy bar and instantly my cell says, "Ooh, I love chocolate, send that chocolate to me." No, we need to break it into simpler substances. Organs of the digestive system work together to break down foods into what we call usable form. That's number 5 in your notes. Some foods break down during mechanical digestion. What is mechanical digestion? The tearing, crushing, and mashing, number 6 in your notes, of food. So when I think of mechanical, I usually think of my teeth, where we tear this stuff up, crush this stuff, smash it up, mash it up. But you're going to learn as we read through all this, guys, it also happens in your stomach as well. So mechanical is all physical. It's just literally your teeth and your muscles grinding on things. It can also do it in chemical digestion, which moves on to number 7. It releases chemicals called enzymes, and they break down foods into nutrients. So, guys, chemicals, like when I think of the digestive thing, I think about the stomach acid I have. Those acids are the enzymes. They break food down into other substances. There's a change there. So keep that in mind. Mechanical just crushes it, makes it smaller of the same stuff. Chemical is going to change the process. It's going to make it into a different type of system. All right. I'm going to work through ABC. Please do not think ABC are the only 3 parts of your digestive system. We'll talk about a number of these guys, which will cover most of the things of your digestive system. So we have liver. The job of the liver is to produce bile. Bile, which helps you digest fat. It also helps you store some nutrients. If you remember from yesterday, guys, it stores your glucose that you need, right, from the biofeedback loop. And it breaks down harmful substances in the blood. So one of those harmful substances would be alcohol. When you drink alcohol, your liver has to filter that out of its blood. So your liver works as a filter for your blood. It's amazing what, and I just gave alcohol as one example, what we constantly are filtering our blood through. So over here, number 8 for your notes, it stores some nutrients, and it also breaks down harmful substances in the blood. Number 2, the gallbladder. Bile. If you want to know what bile is, sometimes we use the word bile when your stomach is upset and we call it heartburn. You feel that stuff burp up and then you swallow it back down, guys. That's that acid, nasty, burning sensation. Yeah, that's not good, but that's what you're tasting there. Bile produced by the liver is stored in the gallbladder until it is released to the small intestines when it is needed. So number 9 is in your small intestines. Gallbladder is just this little pouch right here which holds it. Sometimes you'll get what they call gallbladder stones, little rocks in there. Um, that causes problems. That was my wife. My wife had problems with that, so she had her gallbladder removed. And when your gallbladder is removed, you're incapable of storing the bile you need, so your body just produces it and releases it directly in there. So our amazing God created us with this helps, but you can live without, and your body just adjusts to that. Okay, third one is the pancreas. If you remember yesterday, the pancreas was in our biofeedback loop, guys, here as part of your endocrine system. Um, it helps with this blood sugar loop. So, and now it's down here in your digestive system. So can I have an organ that's in more than one system? Yes, please keep that in mind. Organs can belong to more than one system. The pancreas produces enzymes that flow into the small intestines. These enzymes, along with other substances, neutralize stomach acid that is mixed with the food that enters the small intestines. Okay, so it neutralizes stomach acid, guys. That's really important. I do not want that acid. The acid in your stomach is incredibly powerful acid. Um, it can literally digest through you. Some of the things that you eat is absolutely amazing, guys, how powerful your stomach acid is. And so we don't want that acid like I talked about before, when you kind of throw up a little bit and swallows back down, you know that taste of that the burn of that's awful. Okay, so that's sitting in there can do some damage. So we have to neutralize that, and it does that. Let's work through the processes of the digestive system. Okay, so now you're down here as we cruise through our note. Number one, it starts in the mouth. It starts with mechanical digestion, begins in the mouth when teeth start to shred food. You know you have what we call canines. Those are the sharper teeth kind of on the side. You have molars in the back for mashing it up. Okay, the tongue mixes the food with saliva, which is a mixture of water and enzymes. So guys, that would trigger you. That's also chemical digestion happening there, produced by your salivary glands. Saliva begins the process of chemical digestion. It starts the breakdown of starch into simpler sugars. So I wrote down breaking down starches, guys. Now, we hit the esophagus. So all this is happening in my mouth here with my salivary glands. That's like the spit, guys. Sometimes when you smell really good food, your mouth will start to water. That's getting ready for digestion. So my nose helps me say, hey, you're about to eat, and I like it. Let's go. I want to produce the stuff that needs to break that stuff down. So your nervous system, guys, controls your chewing. Now, if you go back to your muscular system, remember in our muscular system we talked about smooth muscles, which were involuntary. I don't have to think about it. And we also talk about voluntary muscles, which I do think about. As I'm chewing, I'm thinking about that. I have to tell my jaw, move, chew, chew, chew. Then I swallow. As soon as you swallow, guys, you throw the food back in your throat. Now your food's right here, and your food needs to get down to here. You don't think anymore about your food. This is where we hit smooth muscles, guys. Smooth muscles are going to push that thing right down your throat. They do that automatically without you thinking about it. After the food becomes soft and moist, the tongue pushes it to the esophagus. Rhythmic contractions of the smooth muscles in the esophagus push food down toward the opening of your stomach. So they just automatically smash it down like, think of this as a toothpaste tube, guys. You want to get the toothpaste at the bottom of the tube out, you squish it all the way to the front of the toothpaste bottle. That's what your throat is doing, smashing it until it drops it into the stomach. Okay, there's a flap in the back of your throat here. We literally have, your throat is made up of a number of tubes. One's for food. You'll learn coming up here when we get into the respiratory system, one's for air. And every once in a while you swallow food and you start choking, and then you'll hear somebody say, ooh, that just went down the wrong pipe. It literally did. It was supposed to go down to the stomach. Instead, it was trying to go down the one that wants to take it to the lungs. The lung says, I can't do anything with food, and you have to cough that thing back out. Okay, let's hit the stomach. The stomach continues mechanical digestion by squeezing its contents with muscular contractions. So guys, we always talk about stomach acid, but understand your stomach is churning right now. It's flexing its stomach muscles. It has smooth muscles, so you don't have to think about it, but that's mechanical. Mixing it with the acids is chemical. Okay. Glands in the stomach produce enzymes and acid that begin the breakdown of proteins. The acid also kills bacteria that have been swallowed with food. After several hours in the stomach, the food has become a soupy mixture. So into my notes, chemical digestion produces acids. Acids are going to break down proteins. It's part of my immune system that we'll talk about coming up this week. It kills bacteria. So stuff I eat is not healthy for me. There's things on it that my stomach acid is strong enough to just kill. Food's going to be in my stomach for several hours, okay? And we need to understand that. Now I'm going to jump over here to get my last notes. The oval cells in this electron microscope image of the stomach lining produces mucus that protects the stomach from the digestive substances. Pits in the lining contain glands that produce digestive juices. So it's producing these acids, and it's also producing this mucus. So that's the word that goes in here. It produces a mucus that protects itself from the acid. Guys, if you want to know how powerful your acids in your digestive system, this is what causes you to decay. When a dead person dies, its stomach continues to eat itself. That acid is in there, okay? And that's what is eventually is going on. Sometimes you'll see this on the side of a road when you have a deer that's killed and it looks like it's bloating out, like it's about to pop. That's the stomach digesting itself and producing a gas. Tragically, this also happens in kids when you see pictures of children that are starving. They have their stomachs kind of look like a balloon. That's not like when I was young and stupid. I used to say, well, my goodness, these kids say they're starving, but their stomachs look pretty big. That's literally their digestion system digesting itself, looking for a substance and producing a gas. So the acid is so strong in your body, it would eat through its stomach. So it has to produce this mucus. Constantly producing mucus, which constantly gets destroyed by the acid. So amazing God has that figured out. Number 4, the small intestines. Most digestion takes place in the small intestines. Sounds like a great science book question. Maybe on my test, maybe on my worksheet. Where does most digestion take place? They have tiny finger-like projections called villi. They line the small intestines. So here you see a picture of it down here. Digested food passes into the blood through the walls of the villi. These structures increase the surface area. We've talked a number of times in science class, increased surface area. We'll talk about it tomorrow with your lungs. We talked about increased surface area in your cells, why they split. This is where digested material can be absorbed into the blood. Well, villi absorb about 7.5 liters of fluid a day. So over here, most digestion takes place there. Villi are tiny finger-like projections that absorb the food into your bloodstream. You get about 7.5 liters, so you guys think about a 2-liter bottle of soda. You would have almost 4 of those worth of fluids that are absorbed through your stomach every day between the water and the food that you take into your body. We call them the small intestines, guys. That's this little finger-like structure in here because they're small in diameter. They, on average, are anywhere between 20 to 25 feet in length in the average adult. Now it varies depending on what you're measuring and everything. You'll see anywhere down from 18 up to 35 I've seen. So I just put an average down here about 20 to 25 feet. Isn't that crazy to think you have 20 to 25 feet of guts all wrapped up in your stomach that your food is slowly passing through and we're pulling all the nutrients out of it. After the small intestines, it's going to hit the large intestines. Materials that cannot be absorbed into the bloodstream pass into the large intestines. Little digestion takes place here. The large intestine's job is to absorb water from the undigested material and store solid waste until it leaves your body. So we go through all the digestive, we got everything out of it. It's just still a liquid, soupy nastiness. It passes into the large intestines. As it passes through the large intestines, we pull all the water out of it we can, making it more of a solid waste product until that solid waste product passes out of your body. That system goes too fast, guys, and we can't pass it out and we don't absorb much water. That, not to be disgusting, that's diarrhea, guys, okay? So that's why it's all liquidy and runny and nasty, okay? It goes really slow and we absorb all the water out of it. That's called constipation. That's a much thicker, harder things. Okay, so sorry to be disgusting, but that's the reality of the inside of your body. Okay, number 1, we're not digesting food anymore. It's already been digested, we just absorb it. Number 2, the main task, absorb water to get the waste that we pass out of ourselves when we go to the bathroom. This one in humans is about 5 feet long, okay? So it's called large, not because of length, because it's a much thicker organ that it passes through, okay? I already read through stomach. Up here is a picture of your tongue. These are your taste buds, is all they're saying there. And then this is a rough surface when you absorb in so that you can help the chewing and the movement of the food. This is the villi that are sticking out, and it says as many as 40 of these are on every square millimeter, guys. So think how small a centimeter is. We know there's 10 millimeters on a centimeter, and we can fit 40 of those guys on that little thing. That's how we have so much surface area. We can absorb it all as it goes through. Okay, guys, lots of times this whole digestive process can take up to about 20 hours by the time the food you eat passes through all this stuff and leaves your body. So lots of times we think like, I ate lunch and then I have to go to the bathroom an hour later and I'm getting rid of lunch. That's definitely not true on any level, okay? It takes up to days to get through there. The amazing system of the digestive system. We'll stop there for today, guys. Have a good one.